Hi, my name's Gary and welcome to my channel. Today we are looking at the Dualit Auto Express coffee making machine, and I thought I would indulge myself in my love for coffee. So I drink a lot of coffee. This is not an out of the box video, and I'm not being sponsored to present this video. This is a product that I've bought for my own use, and I've owned it a number of months now, so I've really given it a good testing, and I will present it as I find it, and I'll give it its good points and show up any bad points. So the unit itself is a single boiler unit, so that means that there is a single heating boiler which heats the water for drinks, and also for the steaming as well, to heat up the milk. So I'll just run over in a little bit closer, look at the features of it. Okay, starting at the back of the unit, there's a large water reservoir which is easily removable, and you just open up the top here and it just flips open to top it up. So you can take it to the tap to fill it up. I tend to leave it in situ, just pop it in there, and I tend to just open up the back and just fill it up with a glass of water. Okay, so that's the reservoir of water, which is a good size. On the front here, on the top, we've got a hot plate, which is designed to take little espresso cups that you can warm up. I tend not to use it because although that the unit is a fairly good weight, there is a little bit of vibration, and when the pump runs I tend to find that the cups sort of move around a bit, so I tend not to use that. Also because I tend to use it just to make one or two drinks, and it's not on permanently. It means that there isn't really enough time for the hot plate to warm up the cups anyway, and it is easier just to use a kettle of water just to pop in there just to heat up the cup if I want to. Easy to operate. There's on-off switch at the top here on the left hand side, and there's two blue buttons here. I'll just zoom in a little bit more on those. So we've got two blue buttons here. This one on the left hand side is for a single espresso, this one's for a double espresso. The green one here is for tea, and the button on the full right hand side is for steam. The buttons can be pre-programmed for different amounts of water that's going to be dispensed. So this button here, for example, has been programmed to take this size cup. So I usually use that's the one that I usually use. The one on for the green one, that's been pre-programmed to take for a full mug of tea, and we'll come to making coffees and teas, etc. later. And the one on the far right hand side here is for the steamer, and there's a little Wanda sort of pipe here that dispenses the steam. And on the right hand side here, if I just turn the unit towards you, there is a controller here which controls the steam. So you just twist that and it will control the steam, and it will also give some hot water. It will also give hot water as well. Okay, back, and let's run through some more of the features. We've got a good sized drip tray here. Maybe just bring that into the light a bit better, that's better. So you've got a good sized drip tray here with a removable top. Get that off. So it's got a removable top and with a little rubber sort of foot there, just to stop the drink cups from moving around when it's working. Okay, so you'll probably notice that there's various bits and pieces alongside the Dualit Espress-Auto, which I'll come to in a second. It does come with the good old-fashioned instruction manual, which is a good size and is well worthwhile to read through. It is really easy to follow and it's illustrated very well, which will go through things like how to make each individual beverage, and also how to set temperatures, and also how much liquid is going to be dispensed from the buttons itself. The portafilters, it comes with two portafilters. This one here is quite interesting because this is for the tea dispensing, and it comes with a single dispensing outlet, and then it comes with this plastic adapter. And how it works is that you can put these capsules in, which is the same shape as other well-known capsules from another well-known manufacturer, and basically there's a little cover here that you take off that reveals the tea on the inside, and that just keeps it all fresh, and that just pops into the portafilter and the little plastic adapter on top. And as you put that into the machine, it just opens up the capsule to allow the water to pass through the tea. So we'll be using that a bit later. Okay. The filter, the portafilter for coffee, which is what we're interested in, or I'm interested in anyway. I don't tend to drink tea, but there you go. You've got a little portafilter here with two dispensing outlets. So you can either put one cup underneath both of them, or you can put two cups side by side to do 2 cups at the same time. And then it comes with this filter itself of differing sizes. So this is the deep filter for a double espresso, and that just pops in like so, and then you can take it out again for cleaning. There's a slightly shallower filter, and again that pops inside, and that's for a single espresso, if you didn't want to use as much coffee, or if you prefer weaker coffee. And then there is also this filter, which is used for coffee which is in a bag. So that's quite good. So you can get these bags that you just pop on there, and then that just goes through there. So that's that. This is the measuring device for the coffee. Get that to focus. There you go. So you've got a measure at the top here. There is a hexagon little adapter there, and that is for the little Wanda dispenser for the steam, and that's just literally just to when you want to take it all apart and clean it, you just use this little hexagon here, and then a little tamper at the top here, which is which is just designed to work with the filters, just to tamp down the coffee. We'll go through that. Okay, there is 2 other bits and pieces here. I'll quickly go through. One of them is, focus in there. You get these little cleaning devices here, and the prong there is designed to be able to clean out the filter holes if they get blocked, and also this little adapter which goes onto the Wonder lead if you want very frothy milk. So that's pretty much all the bits and pieces that come with it, and we will go through and make some coffee. Okay, so I'm going to actually make a latte. The reason why I'm going to make a latte is because it brings in a lot of the features of the machine. So it brings in the heating of the milk and frothing of the milk, as well as actually making coffee itself. So in one go I can cover most areas of coffee making in one go. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use this stainless steel jug, which incidentally comes with the unit, which I forgot to put in the when I did the list of things, but I've done that now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the unit on, and it just goes through a process of running through some water, which is quite a good thing because it means that it just flushes through the water out of the machine. And because I'm going to start with the heating up the milk, I'll just press the button for the steamer. I'm going to wait for that to heat up, and then start with the heating up of the milk. Okay, so the red button has now stopped flashing. What I'm going to do first is, before I put the milk in, I'm just going to run through the steam, because it takes a little while for the steam to come through, and it just flushes out the pipe there of any milk that have been residual, that might have been left in there from the last time we used it. Even though I'll have a tendency to actually flush it out once I've finished using it, I'll still run it through anyway. There's actually the water there that's just come out, and the steam there that's come out is quite clean, so that was from the last time I used that. So now I'm going to put in the Wonder into the steamer, and what I'm doing is I'm just moving around the milk just to get an even heating. Let's switch that off for a second. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting my hand on the bottom of the stainless steel container, just to feel the temperature of the milk so I don't overheat it. Let's put that back on again. And then what I'm doing now is I'm just adjusting the end of the Wonder just at the top of the milk, because it's up to temperature now, just to produce that froth. So we've now got nice hot frothy milk. So I'll just put that to one side. Okay, so that's the milk heated up, so it's now time for the coffee. So I'm just using a pre-ground coffee from a supermarket, and need 2 scoops there into the Portafilter, and then just tamping it there just to nice and even out the coffee within the Portafilter. And then what I tend to do is that on the Portafilter there's a little edge there that I'll tend to rest on the side of the working space, and I don't put any pressure onto the dispensing units there. So a little bit of pressure tamping down. Let's move that out of the way. So over to the unit, where it just plugs in to the bottom, and then just firmly move it across just to seal that up. Now currently it's on the steamer still. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring it over to the double espresso button, and what it will do, you can probably hear it there, it'll just flush through some cold water just to cool everything down, because it's on a single boiler. It means that it's had a lot of hot water inside the boiler for the steamer. So what it does, it just cools everything down to the correct temperature, so you don't burn the coffee. So I'll just press the button on there for the double espresso, and hopefully that should dispense ourselves some coffee. There we go. You can just see it there, it's just dispensing. There's 2 runs of coffee there, so you could put a mug or a little cup either side and do 2. So there we go, lovely coffee. And then what it's doing now, it's just also putting off some water. It's just dispensing off some water to cool down the boiler there. Okay, so to make my latte, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my coffee I just made. Now, I could either drink that, so perfect double espresso as far as I'm concerned. Nice head on the top and nice full body coffee. But we're making a latte, so what I'm going to do is I'm taking the milk that we prepared earlier, and I'm just going to pop that milk into the glass, just retaining the frothy milk at the top to around about here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to dispense the coffee into this jug. The only reason I'm doing that is because I want a pouring lip for the coffee. Because it's my preference that I like to have the coffee on top of the milk. I'm just going to pour that on top there. Just using the back of a spoon. Okay, and then you can then use the spoon to just spoon off, do it backwards, to spoon off some of the froth on the milk on top of the latte. And there we go, one lovely latte, fresh Jersey milk and latte spoon. Okay, so preparing a latte was really easy to do. If you want to make the espresso, you just leave it over coffee. If you want to make the espresso into an Americano, you just add some hot water from the kettle, which will make it a bigger drink for Americano. If you wanted to have a cappuccino, you can basically have the shot of coffee, bit of water, and then heat up the milk and froth it. If you really want very frothy milk, you can use the adapter. But what I tend to do is I tend to just put the milk in and just hover the wand just over the top of the milk, and it acts as a venturi and just froths it up. So it's not necessary, but if you want really frothy milk, then it's quite a good idea. So let's go on, make a cup of tea, and see how that works. Okay, for this section, for the tea making, we're going to use this portafilter, which is different to the Coffe one. It's only got a single outlet, but you'll see it only actually needs that. You'll see why in a minute. And then it's got this little adapter that I showed you earlier for compressing the capsule. I'm actually going to be using Dualit do these bags, these boxes of tea. I'll get that to focus. They do these boxes of tea with these plastic capsules that I showed you earlier. Basically what you do, I'll get that to focus. Okay, what you do is you just remove the cover here, which has got this sort of paper sort of sealing cover, and then that just pops into the dispenser there, and that goes on the top, and then just take it over to the unit. Okay, so at the Dualit, what we do is just pop that in exactly the same way as we do the Coffe, and that just goes over. It's quite tight, and what it's doing is just breaking the capsule to allow the water to pour through. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just use this clear mug here so you can actually see the liquid going through. So what I do is I'm just going to press the green button, which is the tea, and it'll heat up to a high temperature and then start dispensing. Okay, so that's the tea being made. I'll just pull that out from underneath the unit there. This mug is a little bit tall to get underneath there, but there we go. This is one of their fruit teas, and it smells delicious. It tastes really good as well. Okay, so that's the Dualit Espress-Auto. It makes absolutely awesome coffee and also tea as well, which makes it nice and versatile. It's well made and has certainly served me very well for the last 6 months or so. The only downside that I find on it that I didn't really like is that the hot plate on the top, which is there to heat up cups, I think that they should have an off switch so you can actually switch it off if you don't use it, which I don't use it. The only other thing that I find is that once it dispenses coffee, it goes through a cooling down process. So it just dispenses a little bit of water into the drip tray. I think the reason for that is probably to take away the latent heat within the heating mechanism, which does help with the longevity of the unit. But what I do find is that it fills up the drip tray quite quickly. So you've got to empty it more regularly than I would have liked to have done. But there again, you've got to clean it anyway, so it's not too much of a problem. And it does take quite a lot of water from the reservoir. So ideally what I would have liked to have seen is there being a little bit more of a delay between the dispensing of the coffee and the cooling down process. The only reason why I say that is because if you want to make more than one drink, it means that if you've got a little bit of more time, that you can dispense another coffee before it goes through the cooling down process. But maybe there's a reason why the manufacturers want to have that cooling down process straight away. So overall, I am really happy with the unit, and certainly don't have any hesitation in recommending this unit. Thank you for watching, and if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, which helps to distribute the video amongst other users. And if you'd like to subscribe to my channel if you want to see other random reviews of various products, then don't forget to press that subscribe button, and I'll also put a link to this unit if it's something that you're interested in. I'll do a link to Amazon, so if you want to see a little bit more about it, you can always review it on Amazon as well. And thank you for watching, and see you again.